Hello, good morning. It's day 2 of our STAMP-AGANZA. So today we are playing with poly plates. We have 3 new poly plates. I'm trying to move my laptop. It doesn't want to move. No, it's not moving. So we have 3 new poly plates to share with you today. And we're going to be using those lovely flowers from yesterday as well. So I'm just going to get going, I think, this morning. Yeah, let's get going, shall we? Facebook seems to be having a bit of a wobble, so I do apologise. It keeps shouting at me. Let's see if I can just fix that for a second. Yeah. Right, Facebook is having a bit of a wobble, so hopefully it'll sort itself out in a minute or two. So let's get looking at our new poly plates. Morning, Maxine. We have got 3 new poly plates for you. So I'm going to start off with, there's a bit of a theme on this one. We've got Splish, but you can't see where I'm going with this one, Splash and Splosh. Yeah, so these are our 3 new poly plates we have got. You can get them individually, or I've also done them in a set of 3 and I've called it the puddle, because obviously it's Splish, Splash and Splosh. Morning, Lynn. We're not showing on YouTube. It should be. Should be there. I can see it on YouTube. So these are, you might need to refresh your page on YouTube. Morning, Carol. So these are our 3 new poly plates: Splish, Splash and Splosh. All work really well individually, but work just as well together, if that makes sense. So puddle, you end up getting Splish, I think it is free. Lynn said it's working now on YouTube. Or you can get them individually if you just fancy that one. And as always, poly plates don't really look very much when they are just in their packaging. So I have got a couple of samples to show you, and you will recognise some of our lovely flowers from yesterday. I am going to whiz through today because Bear has tennis and I'd like to get to see him today. So we have got Splish, Splash and Splosh on there. So you can see you've got, I'll start Splish, Splash and Splosh, and it just makes a really good, so not quite, it's, you can see how it all builds together. So I like layering all my colours onto one poly plate, but this way you can layer up your colours, so you only have to add one. So you can do your palest to your darkest using your Splish, Splash and your Splosh. Yeah, morning, Mum. And then on there you can see we've got Darling Dora from yesterday, and then we've got Splash. So all I've done is stamped it 3 times in different colours, and you think it just gives you a really, really good background there. What a statement it makes, hey? And then we're using our Starlight Beautiful set from yesterday. Next up, we've got Splish, teeny little one, but looks really, really good, doesn't it? Just adding that little bit of, oh, Carol saying she likes the flowers from yesterday. Thank you very much. So you only need a little one sometimes, and that's what our Splish is. Or if you want to go big, you've got our Splosh. Yeah? No, Splish, Splash, yeah, Splosh. And again, you've got that Darling Dora on there. Darling Dora on this one as well. So this is the big stamp set. All I've done is I've just moved that flower head down so it wasn't quite as tall on the page. We have got, this is actually Splish stamped 3 times, and what I've done is I've changed slightly the colour combo on there. So I've kept it to pinks, but I've moved them around a little. I've changed them up even. That's that one. And then again, that's a Splosh. I'm going to get myself tongue-tied, aren't I, with my Splish, Splash and Splashes. And that's with Dora Blooms. And then we've got a whole team event going on here. We've got Splish, Splash and Splosh. Now the funny thing is, when you want, what I tend to do is go palest to darkest that way. So you end up actually doing Splosh, Splish, Splash and Splish. Yeah? So you end up doing it backwards, if that makes sense. And I've used a Starlight Elegant on that one. See, I've given myself a little clue on there. And then finally, we have, this is actually showing you something that we've got coming on Monday. This is Splash again on there with a quick Distress Ink Ombre. So they are really, really quick, simple backgrounds. So you can go colourful, and that's kind of what we're going to do today. Just go colourful, throw it all on there and see what happens. We've got a lovely little smoosh in the background there. It's not about the images today, it's about these gorgeous poly plates and what we can do with them. So we've got that smoosh effect on that one. We've got Splish there, that's Oxide on that one. Just a basic Oxide one colour. Oh no, that was ink, sorry. That was Distress Ink. Basic Oxide on there. Again, a lovely ombre going on. Basic colours, and then we've got all three of them on there. So we're going to get playing because that's what we want to do, isn't it? Let me put them somewhere safe. Get in a right pile. And all of the cards that we had yesterday and today are on our website. If you look at inspiration and look at gallery, you will see them all in there, except for the two that we did yesterday because I forgot to put them on this morning. I was being really good and then I kind of forgot. So I'm going to use all three. So our Splish, Splash and Splosh, because they do work really, really well together. I've got my card cut, but I haven't got my inks. So I'm actually going to do Lynn's noticed something. We have got some new words coming, but that's Monday. So those words, some of the words that you're seeing on the cards will be available on Monday. Some of the sayings. Got some really exciting things coming on Monday on our MIDI range. So you know the ones, the little blue packaging, which are in our 2 for £5 range. Right. I should really be able to, there you go, those ones. Yeah, but that's not a new one, that was one we did a while ago. But yes, I have been using the new ones. Otherwise, I've already got a mountain of samples. Literally, I've got a pile like that. It's huge, my pile of samples for this. And it'd been even more if I hadn't used these sayings. And they do all work really well together. I'm just looking for a yellow for my ombre. Why is it I can never find it? There you go, fossilised amber. That one will do. So I'm going to cheat because I know some of you struggle to put your colour down onto one plate. So actually, I'm changing my mind again. I always do this, don't I? So when I talk about an ombre, I'm talking about where we smoosh 3 colours together. Yep. And then for this one, I'm just going to use 3 separately so you can see how we build this up lovely to create. I'm trying to see if I can find one. Something a bit like this. Yeah. So I've got a little 6x6 because sometimes you look at these and go, oh, you need a bigger card. We don't. And I've got my ombre colours. So I've got yellow, orange and red. Don't really matter about which one, what colours you use. You just grab an orange, a yellow and a red. Or a yellow, an orange and a red. That's the order you put them in. So I'm going to start with my palest colour. So I want my big one. Our Sploosh. I know. It took me a while to come up with names for these ones, you can tell. I should really make you guess, shouldn't I, where the name for the flowers came from, because I don't think you would guess. Their mum probably would. Right, I'm going to start off with this one. So I've got our Sploosh, and I'm going to pop it down at the bottom here. So all I've done, Distress Ink, so you could do this with your oxides. Distress Ink, boom, done. Where's my kitchen roll? Because it's going to get wet very, very fast, this. So Distress Ink, bit of a spritz, and done. we're going to go, and I do love poly plates because they are so quick and easy to do backgrounds. But you don't have to treat these as poly plates, you could use these as a texture stamp. Oops, I'm throwing them everywhere. I've got my orange, it's not very orangey though, it's more like a dirty yellow. But again, it doesn't matter what colours you're using. So I've got my splash. So I'm just going to layer him up. Now I'm going to change that colour because it is not very different from my fossilised amber. So bear with 1 second. If I can find one. There we go, that'll do. Why didn't I find that one the first time around? There you go, that's better. Let's move you out of the way so I don't use you. It's going to be better. I just want you to be able to see the difference between splish, splash and our splosh. There we go. And I'm just going to clean this up because you know what I'm like with my inky pinkies. So I'm just going to move anything that could cause me a bit of a problem. I'm just going to move. So there you go, that looks a bit darker, doesn't it? So splish, splash, and then you'll never guess what's coming next. No, splosh, splash, and now we need our splish. Back to front. Oh, don't worry, Lynn, we won't sell out. We can make them. I'll pop Mr. Roo onto the machines. See, that's the beauty of us making them all. Here, we can make what you want. We've had quite a lot of personalised stamps as well through this week, so we've been busy making them. Right, and then we have our splish. So I'm just going to pop this one here. So I've not used them as we would normally mix and match our colours on here. I've just done a really simple background, but I think it looks pretty effective. I'm just going to give it a quick dry. And then we need to put a flower on it. Now, yesterday we used the vine and one of our starlights. So we're going to use one of our doors today. I'll have to go rooting for that one in a second. Making sure this is nice and dry. You can see how wet it was on the back of my card because it's just come through ever so slightly. And then what I'm going to do now is, before I start stamping, because you know what I'm like, I get carried away with myself. And I start stamping and I don't think it through. So I'm going to grab my flowers. So I think I'm going to use our Dora. I think she will look lovely there. And I'm just going to lay it out on top of my card. Because for once, I am being a good girl and I'm keeping all my stamps together, she says, and she can't find the one she wants. So I am going to be naughty and I am going to use one of our new ones. Seeing as though Lynn had a sneaky peek. Let the cat out of the bag. I might as well use them now, haven't I? So these will be coming on. There you go. I knew that one had a stamp somewhere. There we go. Will be coming on Monday. So I just managed to knock my phone. Bear with, I've just lost Facebook. There we go, back now. And then we will put this one in down here. Perfect. So what I think I'm actually going to do, I'm not going to stamp that directly onto it, because when I come to paint these, I'm going to be arguing with my background. So I'm going to pop this over here. I'm going to stamp this onto a scrappy bit of card. Well, not a scrappy bit of card, but you know what I mean. A spare piece of card. And then we'll give it a cut out, because actually, you know me and cutting out don't always go hand in hand. But these are really quite easy, because they've got that lovely doodly edge. That is a word, doodly. Or else it should be a word, shouldn't it? It is. Ooh. That's a nice piece. I thought it was a card then. You don't have to be worried about you cutting out. Just leave yourself a little border and you get away with awful cutting out. Nobody will notice. So I'm just going to get this one inked up. Dunk, 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 dunk. Terrible inking up. Can you see? I'm getting it all over the back of my stamp. It's because I'm pressing too hard and my ink pad's not level. So I'm just going to take that little bit off there. There we go, see. Oh, it doesn't really matter because I'm cutting it out, but always a good habit to get into though when you are stamping. Make sure your stamps is, the edge of your stamp is nice and clean, because otherwise if you're putting it onto your base card you'll end up with all them marks. Doesn't really matter for me today because I am going to cut this out, I hope. There we go, look at Dora, isn't she gorgeous? I'll have to share a picture of who Dora's named after, because she's gorgeous too. And again, because I'm going to be putting some colour onto here, I want to just make sure we have got it nice and dry. There we go. Right, so I'm going to be, we've got lots and lots of colour here. And so what I'm going to do with our flowers is not add that much colour. So I'm just going to grab my marker pens. And I am doing really, really quick samples yesterday and today, because I want to show you how easy it is to make cards with these. But obviously if you want to spend more time, then he's not blue enough, is he? I want more of a, I always go to the same one. Yeah, that one will do. I should just grab my usual 2 pens while Lynn's asking about Dora. Ooh. There we go. Right, Dora's actually one of Ed's fishies, and she is lovely. She's a little orange Corey, if you know your fishies. And she's my favourite because she's just so funny. She's like a little, well, I don't like what I've done there. Never mind. I didn't mean to quite go in with as much colour. I was getting carried away then. So I don't want much. Well, I didn't want much. I'm just going to have to make it work. So I just want a little bit of our green. So you can see I'm not adding much colour there at all. To be fair, it don't look as bad as I thought it was going to look. I got carried away. I will just colour in the stalks on them stems, whichever colour, or whatever they're called. And then my blue, I just went looking for that in my tub, but I'd already got it out. And again, I'm just going to add a few little flicks. Nothing too much, because I want that poly plate, our colour, to all come from that poly plate. And you'll notice I've also chose contrasting colours, so we've got oranges and yellows, and I've got beautiful blue, greens and blues for my flower. But they are so easy to work with, these stamps. Lynn had fishies too. Hey, we like our fishies. Right, so we've got our Dora. I'm going to keep that piece nearby because we might get round to a second one this morning. And now it's decision time whether I cut these bits out. Now I'm thinking this is going to go here, so I would see a bit more of my polyplate print, so I'm going to cut it out. And again, I'm not the best cutter outer. Mum is such a great fussy cutter. I am not. I don't really have the patience for fussy cutting, but like I said before, these are dead easy to cut out. So all I'm doing is I'm just gutting it first, so it gives me more room to get my scissors in there, and then I'm slowly going to come back and just follow that border. I'm not trying to be perfect with this because, like I said before, these are great because they've got such a doodly edge that actually, is anyone going to notice? What they'll notice is if you don't do a nice clean cut. There we go. So you can see. And then we're going to do exactly the same on this one. I'm just going to cut it a little bit because it makes it easier to get your scissors around than trying to work with pokey holes. You can see as soon as I start removing some of that card, because I'm working on 300 GSM card, so it's nice and thick, but it does make cutting out a little bit difficult at times. So I'm just going to start down here, and I need to be really careful because this bit's going to go really, really thin. There we go. You could always use your craft knife as well, but I value my fingers too much. I am not very safe using a craft knife. It's one of them, I know my limits, and a craft knife is definitely out of my skill set. I will occasionally use one of those little finger craft knives, and I do get on with them okay, but cutting out an image like this, no. Right, so you can see got that bit done. I'm just going to tidy up that bit there because it looks a bit pants. There you go. And then I'm looking now what is my next weakest bit, so it's going to be coming down here and going around there. So that is where I'm going to start with, because I've still got quite a bit of card I can hold on to when I'm cutting out. So now it's going to start to get fiddly, but because I've got all this card still in place, I've got something I can hold on to and work with. Whereas if I'd have already chopped out my flowers and things like that at the top, we would be in a bit of a pickle, wouldn't we? Again, just starting to So if you start cutting out with your weakest bit, it is always going to be easier. Oh, I find it easier. You can see it's starting to get quite delicate now, but the good thing is I'm away from all that delicateness. Would help if I showed you what I was cutting out once. There we go, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And my border's going from quite fat to quite thin. Some of my corners are a bit questionable. But again, we've got doodly images which will be very forgiving. There we go. Right, so let me move my bits and bobs because we don't want them. Oh, I threw them on the floor by mistake. And then you can see if I pop that down on there, how pretty does that look? And then I'm going to do all my stamping. Just quickly finish that off with a stamp. So one of our new ones that will be coming on Monday. So you haven't seen this bit, so you might want to close your eyes for the next little bit. going to keep nice and quiet right now. Shh. Nobody can see this bit. So I'm going to move it in a bit, I think. There we go. So sneaky peek at what we've got coming up on Monday. Tomorrow is all about texture stamps. We've got 3 lovely new texture stamps coming tomorrow. Right, so let's get this together, shall we? I have got very, very simple matte and layer. There we go. I'm throwing it all around, aren't I? So I'm going to throw some glue on here. Pop that down on there. And let's grab this one. Literally, you can make polyplate cards in minutes, really quick, simple ones. And if you want to go a little bit more advanced, and obviously that's where your time comes in, when you start doing your edges and your framing and all that. Okay, I'm just giving that a quick press down because I know it's a bit wobbly bobbly. And then I'm going to use foam pads because, well, Dora needs to stand out. Got that gorgeous polyplate in the background. Well, polyplate, so splish, splash and splosh. And then I'm just going to add a few little foam pads on here. I'm going to chop some of these up because I think they're fatter than my leaves I've left. Pop them there. Would help to use the thinner side for my stalk, wouldn't it? There we go. Dora's not going anywhere, she's stuck. And then just grab these off. And we can position this one up. And how simple was that to do? I'm just eyeballing it, so I've got about the same, about the same, about the same. There we go. Really, really quick and simple polyplate using Splish Splash Splosh. Now, that didn't take us long at all, did it? So now I am going to I'm going to do another one, because obviously that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. So let me grab one of my bits and pieces from this side. Oops. Just trying to find another card blank we can use. It's going to be another 6x6, I'm afraid. Oh no, it's not. I haven't got a front for that one. Bear with. Haha, there we go. I knew I had another one somewhere. I normally try and do a 5x7 and a 6x6, don't I? But didn't have a spare. So this time I'm going to do a really quick smoosh, because you know how much I love my smooshes. There you go, move out of my way. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to use one of our polyplates. So you don't need them all. Absolutely don't. You can get away with just one. Now, I do love our splosh, because I think it just adds, you know, look at that. Fills your page and a sentiment. You don't need anything more than that, do you? Lynn's asking what colours did I use. Fired brick, fossilised amber and rusty hinge, but I wouldn't say they're my go-to, but they did work really well on that one, didn't they? I think the rusty hinge works really well with the fossilised amber. So there's the ones I used today: fossilised amber, rusty hinge and a bit of fired brick. I think I'm going to go for Splash. Now I need to decide. I'm going to do a really quick ombre with it. So by mixing my colours together, so I'm going to pop that on there, I think. Actually, I might put it on this side because I'm going to use... I don't think it's going to matter. We haven't used our Beautiful yet. Starlight Beautiful. And we're just going... I think that's going to be our layout. Yep. You can see we've got that beautiful poly plate by the side. And then we're going to have Starlight going up there. Like so. Because we used Elegant yesterday. So, don't blink because it really is this simple. So, I'm going to do... I was going to use the same colours. That's a bit boring, isn't it? So, bear with 1 minute whilst... I just grab, we're going to do a bit of, I need Seedless Preserve, there it is, I keep saying haha, I don't know why. I'm going to do a bit of Seedless Preserve, and then, Maxine's asking, will we be making more words in the circles? Yes, it is something I have been working on. It takes me a little bit longer to do them. I don't know why. Don't know why it takes me longer to do them. But yes, it is something we were going to do. Well, I'm halfway through months of the year, and we've got birthday and a few others. I can't remember off the top of my head. So these are the ones that fit in our lovely time border stamp that Maxine's asking about. So yes, they will be coming out. It's just a got popped to one side for a moment. Right, there we go, that one will do. So we've got a pink, purple, and we've got Dusty Concord. So Pick Raspberry, Seedless Preserve, and Dusty Concord on there. And we're going to just grab and do. So, as always, we distress inks. I'm using inks. I can't stress that enough. I am using distress inks, not oxides. If I was using oxides, we'd be doing this one at a time. Inks are a little bit more forgiving. If you go paler to darker, they won't contaminate. Oxides will. No matter what you do with your oxides, you're going to end up with one of the other colours on top of it. And I don't want to damage your oxides. Distress inks, you can get away with. As long as you go paler to darker, never put a darker one onto a paler colour. Because all that happens is it goes, ooh, moisture, and it sucks it back up from your stamp, and then you end up with a darker splodge on your stamp, and we don't want that. Sorry, on your ink pad. So we are starting with our palest one. And now I need to make the decision, do I want a dark top or a dark bottom? And I'm going to have a dark top, I think. So I've got my picked raspberry. I'm going to whiz this around because it's easier for me to do. I'm going to grab my Seedless Preserve and I'm just going to pop that on there. Ooh, that's gone really dark. I've just got a little smoosh on there. And then I'm going to grab my Dusty Concord and I am just putting little bits on here. So you can see it all layered up. You can just about make out the colours, so pick raspberry on it all. And the reason I do that base layer of all of it is if I miss any bits, you're going to get pick raspberry coming through. I've then got my Seedless Preserve on about 2/3 and then a little bit of Dusty Concord just to top it off. And then I'm just going to spritz it ordinary water. Make sure, for me, I'd say, oh, it's like you're doing archery, so give it a good space between your spritzer and your bottle so you get those lovely bubbles. Can you see it's all starting to mix and merge together? And then we just splat it on. So I'm going to pop it something like this one. And then we just need to be careful lifting it up. I didn't clean it off, which didn't help. There we go. And then all I'm going to do on this one is I'm just going to put a bit of an edge to it. So I'm going to take my dusty concord and very gently just ink up that edge. And this is easier if you're doing this on a so can you see I'm just using the edge of my ink pad just to catch a few little bits of our stamp and a poly plate there. This is easier if you're working on a stamping platform, because you are going to get this bob on. You're going to, when you come to line it back up, it's going to go straight back on, whereas not so much. It's going to be a little bit harder to line it up doing it freehand, but it's a lot more fun, I think. So I'm just tidying up my stamp again, because you know what I'm like, I'm very messy. And then I'm going to bring this here, I'm going to turn it around so it's easier for me to stamp, and then we are just going to line him back up. Now I won't tell you which of my little darlings said this looks like a shaggy dog. Oh, I should have spritzed that. Never mind, it's all clumped around the edge now. Yeah, not looking good, is it, that? We'll come back and sort it out. My Distress ink didn't want to do it, so I'm just going to grab, I could either use my Mementos or my VersaFine for this. So excuse me while I just reach over. Why is it you can never find the colour you want in your tub? I'm looking for Imperial Purple, so if Imperial Purple wants to come to the top, I'd be very grateful. Nope. You know, there's only 12 colours in VersaFine, and I swear. Oh, that's Vintage Sepia. It would have been easier if I'd moved the tub now, wouldn't it? Oh, come on. Can't find it for the life of me. Well, we'll be going with Memento then. Yeah. Don't know where he is, but he's not in the tub. It's naughty. I'll have to go find him in a little bit. Right, so that one will do. I'm just going to grab my Memento. So much easier to grab that one, wasn't it? Should have used that the first time round. So I'm just going to grab my Memento and do exactly the same, because my oxides, my inks were a little bit juicy. Oops, I've gone a little bit heavy-handed on this. So if you do go a little bit heavy-handed like I have, you can see there. Whew. Yep, so all I'm going to do is just take my tissue and just knock it back a little bit. There we go, right. Second attempt. I'm just going to line him up. This one should look better. There we go. See, I can do it. It's one of them, isn't it, sometimes that you just start putting your inks down, it's like not working, and then you just have to keep going. Because it would have been easy to go, nope, I'm going to do another one. But we didn't. I'm just going to give that a quick blast with the heat gun. Get those bits off it. I do love that effect you get with it. So you can see the 3 different colours. So it was picked raspberry, seedless preserve, and dusty concord. There we go, nearly dry. And then we're going to grab our elegant. No, beautiful this time. Sorry. I knew that wasn't right when I said it. Being a naughty girl, I'm not putting my stamps back today. That was our Dora that we used before. And now we're going to grab this one. I'm going to turn it around so I can stamp it easier. I was wondering about putting a little bit of texture into this one, but I won't. So again, you've got that lovely poly plate in the background, and then you're just going to have your focal image next to it. It look great with silhouettes as well. Ooh. I always do this, don't I? I always change my mind. No, I'm going back to how I had it. To be fair, it looks quite nice by itself like that. And now I'm running the risk of, because I was messing about and dancing with it. Just hope my ink didn't dry in that space of time. No, it didn't. We're alright-ish. So I'm just going to give that a quick blast with my heat gun because we are going to paint this one. But it's always good, whenever you're working with Versatile Clay, remember it's quite a wet, soggy ink. So before you add any moisture to it, so whether you're using your pens or your inks or your paints, make sure you dry it first because it does take a while to dry. There we go. And then I'm actually going to mix it up. I am going to grab, no, I'm going to stick my inks. So I'm just going to grab my peel paint because, well, we all know that's my favourite one for foliage, leaves, the whole kit and caboodle. And put that on there. And we did this yesterday, so go in pale first. So i.e. lots and lots of water. And then start to pick up some of the darker. And again, these images are just so quick and easy to colour, she says. There we go. And I just need to do my stalk, stem, stalk. Just like that. I can't tell which is my favourite though, Splish, Splash or Splosh. You see, Splosh is a nice big inky area, isn't it? Splash, well, if you put it that way, like the kids say, it looks like a furry dog. I can kind of see, there's its head, tail, legs, yeah, furry dog. And then you've got a little splash. Right, so where was I up to? I'm going to paint this one. Sorry, you're not going to unsee that now, are you? I'm actually thinking I'm going to do a red, but I want a different orange. So, there we go. I think I used Right Person one yesterday, didn't I? So let's just grab a little bit on there. I'm just going to pop my colours in. So very, very gentle, very pale. Where's me right? Persimmon, whatever you call it. To start off with. You can see I'm not even being too neat and tidy with my painting, because you get away with it because you've got these like wiggly squiggly lines, which means you leave little white bits, so if you don't fully paint it all. There we go. And then to add my darker bits, I'm just going to use some of my fired brick. Ooh, that came out. That was way more than I need. I need like probably about a quarter of what I've just put on my desk. Again, just drag these colours out. And again, I've done it again. She's in oranges and reds and yellows, and I think Starlight just looks amazing in big, bold, bright colours. And you can, if you want, you can go to town decoupaging this one up, because you've got your 5 leaves, so you do your 5, then your 3, then your 1. I wanted to show you quick and easy today. Do I, don't I? I think, no. I was going to do a bit of splattering. Couldn't decide whether I should or I shouldn't. It looks very two-part at the moment, but we will sort that out in a minute. Let's give that a quick dry before I do add anything else. It does feel very two-parted at the moment, but we'll sort that out. It's a nice little saying going over the two. Will look very cool. Oops. Until I went to put my heat gun where my pens go. I've already got my pen down. So I'm just going to add a little bit of sparkle. And then here. Just there. Like I just said, I can guarantee I will miss one of these out somewhere. I always do. I don't think I've done it today. I'll leave it like that, I think. Right, and now it is saying time. I've got, it's black again, I'm afraid. So I've got my back in, I've got my front. It is a bit wibbledy-wobbledy, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to grab my beautiful stamp set. Oh, there we go. Put that back on there. I'll take our beautiful. And I really just need a slither of card to do this one. We're just going to stamp our beautiful. But I hope it's given you, I know I've just done quick and simple today, but I do hope it has given you some ideas just how easy it is to get a fabulous background using your polyplate. Big instant background, isn't it? And of course you can build on it, so tomorrow we get some texture stamps. We might do a polyplate and some texture stamps tomorrow, just to get those lovely layers into our cards. There we go, don't want inky pinkies. Where has there? I just found my cards I had cut as well. They were under my box of samples. Oops. Yep, so I am just cutting down our beautiful. I just need a little scrap of black to pop that onto. Mine's always all over the place, Lynn, my craft stuff. Though I have been pretty good the last few weeks. I've decided, well, I'm trying that every time I come to do some work, I will start sorting out a shelf, and it's working really well actually. I'm finding all sorts I forgot I had. So yesterday I found my googly eyes. They've been missing a long time of my googly eyes. Oh, that's a tough card. I need my Weetabix to get that cut. Wasn't expecting it to be that tough, to be honest. Whew. That's my workout for the day, trying to cut that piece of card. To be fair, it's probably my seat's decided to, it's on its lowest setting, and I can't for the life of me get it to go up any higher at the moment. So it's a job for Bear and Mr. Roo. I can't remember what they were doing yesterday, but I'm sure over the Easter holidays they will get time to sort it out for me. So I'm putting quite a bit of glue on this one, only because, as you can see, where that polyplate was, it's made it a little bit. Ooh. I'm just going to press that and make sure it sticks. It's nice and flat again. I should have made sure before I did that that my gel pen was dry. Luckily it was. Well, enough not to come off on my fingers. Oh. Some days I am dangerous, you know. And then we're going to have our gorgeous I think I'm going to do it like that so it brings the two together. Oh, see, starting with decisions again. Oh, that, quite like that. And you know what? The other thing I found yesterday was my little craft candy. I do like it coming out of me. I do like it coming out of there actually. So we'll pop that down there. And we could add glossy accents to these little bits if we wanted to. So there's number one. We did an ombre using just the one polyplate and our three colours. And then this is the second where we've used our splish, splash and splosh to create that ombre effect for us. and of course we've used Starlight Beautiful and Darling Dora Blooms on there. So just a recap, our new stamps for today, we have the full set, which I've called Puddle, because, well, sometimes naming stamps is really hard because you run out of ideas. Then we've got Splosh, Splash and Splish. It is, if you wanted all three, it's cheaper to get Puddle because you get little Splish for free effectively. And then I'm just going to quickly run you back through the samples if that's alright. So they're the two we have made today. We have then got our lovely ombre using that splash again, so you can see just by changing up the colour you get a completely different look, don't you? There's our splosh with a bit of a smoosh going on. Splish, stamped 3 times. I suppose it would look really nice if I stamped the flower first and then stamped it to do the colour in. Again, there is Splish with Darling Dora, Splash with Beautiful, and the trio on that one. I do love those colours on there. Splosh again, and that elegant trio there. So there you go, that is our new poly plates. Again, trying to find my mouse, it's always running off on me, isn't it? So that is our new poly plates for today. Tomorrow we have three new texture stamps coming as well, so I do hope you can join me for that. 10:30. As always, I think I mentioned it before, all the samples that we have done are on our website underneath Inspiration and Gallery, and you will see them all. Everyone I've shown so far, there is still some more to come, because I'm not showing you any with texture stamps on yet, so they are coming up tomorrow. So again, so tomorrow textures 10:30, so I do hope you can join me then. Thanks for joining me today, thank you for your lovely comments. Do take care, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow at 10:30. Thanks for watching, bye for now.